Alrighty, guys, welcome everybody to Sunday Slot Talk with the Tech. We are your hosts, Brantley and Marc, and welcome to all of our new subscribers out there. We had quite a few of you guys join our YouTube channel yesterday, and a whole bunch more on Facebook. So, welcome everybody. We're so glad you're here. We are here to answer your questions, of course, always free. We do 3 live shows a week. We do our Sunday afternoon show, which is this one. We do our Wednesday night late night show. And for channel members, we do Member Mondays. So welcome everybody, and we are so glad that you are here. So before we dive into our Q&A topic today, just want to let you know this episode will probably be a little bit longer today just because we do have a lot of new people joining us. So we're going to try to answer some of those questions as best as we can and get through them. So we're going to give a little more time to today's episode. Couple of new things really exciting happening at the channel here. So we just started our holiday sale on swag. So guys, if you have been waiting to get poker chips, we have all kinds of fun colors. If you're waiting to get, we've got these wristbands that are really cool. And we also have our casino lanyards in both blue and black. Those are all on sale right now, guys, at ropethejackpot.com. And all of those sales do go to help benefit the channel, and we do greatly appreciate that. Speaking of crazy growth, we had almost 1,000 people subscribe to the channel yesterday alone. So welcome to everybody. And also, not only that, but our Facebook page has really taken off. There's a lot of activity happening over on Facebook. So if you're not following us on Facebook, head over there. It's Cowboy Slots on Facebook. Give us a follow. We'd really appreciate that. Anyway, we got Marc here. Before we dive into the Q&A, let's talk about Marc just came up here to the Shoshone Rose Casino for the pinball launch last week. Marc, what did you think about that trip?
Oh, I had another blast. I got to tell you, I'm starting to really like going out there rather than Vegas. I know I've said that before, but this is now my second trip out there, and every time it's been amazing. But this trip was really special, guys. If you haven't watched the pinball setup video that we posted last week, please go and watch that. It was not only a lot of fun to see the process from start to finish of them converting the game for us, but also we just had a crazy night of jackpots. I mean, it was just on fire last night, and we were probably driving them nuts in the back room trying to get all these hand pays taken care of. But we had a lot of fun, and the best part about that video, guys, is that we got unprecedented access to film the process from start to finish of them taking those games and converting them. And if you have watched that video, you probably realized and noticed that it is not just a simple process. It's not something that they just one person, a slot tech, goes in and swaps out the reels and reprograms the machine or anything like that. The gaming commissioner was there watching. There was also a gaming representative from the gaming commission was sitting there. And literally, Brantley, that guy just had a chair sitting there staring at the IGT tech the entire time, and I never saw him look away because that's part of the process, is that he has to see anytime that machine is open and anything is being done to the chips, to the brain box, programming, anything like that. There has to be somebody there watching, and that is for your protection. That is to make, he was looking at, he literally had a piece of paper like this and was looking at the serial numbers and making sure that they matched the software serial numbers that were on the USB key that had the software for pinball to install, and making sure everything matched. That's to ensure that, it's not a rogue USB key that somebody else created, for example. It was a genuine IGT USB key. Not only that, he watched him program it. He checked it off. He had to verify the chips on the board. And then they did a reseal. And basically that meant that all of the slot technicians and anybody that worked for the casino had to back off and go behind the guy that was the gaming commission representative, and he had to reseal the machine, which meant he put a lock over the brain box USB key door latch, basically. And so that means he's the only one that holds the key. The gaming commission is the only person that holds that key. And that ensures that nobody can go in there and make any programming changes to that machine unless the gaming commission comes back out and watches that change. Now, believe me, we were asking, can we film this? Can we film this? Can we film this? But, a lot of it's very secret, and understandably so. They don't want to reveal their internal processes and stuff. But we did get to sit there and watch them and ask them questions. And I just thought it was a very fascinating process. And in fact, I thought it took longer than I expected. There's just a lot of paperwork, a lot of security, and that's important for you guys to understand and know that they take these things very seriously. And this is a small casino. So if a small casino is doing this, imagine what the larger ones are doing. They have to go through the same thing, but their scale is much larger. It took 2 to 3 hours to put 2 machines in service. Can you imagine what they would have to do if they tried to change the odds or percentages or anything on machines for a weekly basis or something? It would just be a nightmare. So they just don't do that kind of stuff. But anyway, I had a fantastic trip. Played the heck out of pinball. Even after you left, Brantley, and I was stuck there alone, I still played pinball. And got some good filming done for the channel, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. What about you, Brantley? What was your experience like?
I had a fantastic time. I mean, I love going to that casino anyway, but to actually see the process, we did something that was never before done, not just on YouTube, but on the internet in general. You never get to actually have a camera follow around that process. And there's a lot more of that to come. We're going to be doing a lot of that here on the channel. So, and that's so wonderful to be able to show people that inside in the casino that nobody else gets to see. So I just had a blast. It was awesome. Yeah. I loved it. Really want to go back there again really soon.
Take it easy, Brantley. Yeah. Take it easy.
So anyway, guys, we do have a lot of you here already, 160 of you, and we just started our stream. So we're going to go ahead and open up our live Q&A. So we'll go ahead and we'll start taking some questions here. So go ahead, guys, start asking your questions. We will get through them as best as we possibly can. But as always, our streams do get very busy. So if we do happen to miss your question, come back on another stream. We've got streams 3 times a week. We'll be glad to answer your questions. So let's go ahead. Mark, if you do have any that you already have have pulled up, you can go ahead and pick the first one. And
Daniel Delira says, what are your thoughts on online casino slots? So we've talked about this a lot, but I'll make it really quick. Stick to the ones that are licensed, meaning that Caesars online, MGM online, those are the ones that you should focus on. And those are only available in certain states. Our advice is always pretty simple here. If it's an online casino and they want you or allow you to pay by PayPal or credit card or wire transfer or Bitcoin or anything like that, that's a big no from us. Yes, there are stories of people winning and getting paid and all that kind of stuff, but there's just no regulation around those casinos, and we don't want to see you get hurt. So stay away from those. Stick with the licensed ones. And again, the licensed ones are only available in states that they allow it, and there's only a handful of states. So those other ones like Chumba, etc., I would strongly recommend staying away from them, because you don't have the protection, and you really need to have the protection in place.
Exactly. Good question. Thank you.
Yeah.
Question from Carl here. Do I need my social security card when I go to Vegas? Because if I hit a jackpot. So it is always recommended. It does make the process go by a lot quicker if you do have your social security card, but it is not required. If you don't have it, they will have you fill out a form W-9 with your social security number and everything on that form. It's easier if you have the card, but it's not required. So good question.
Yep. And Roger says Mark's about to move to Wyoming. Brantley's trying.
Oh yeah.
No, I got to be honest though. I mean, I really do enjoy it out there. Everything is just so laid back. And if you guys, like that kind of environment, I would strongly recommend at least visiting. And that's what's so nice about the Rose in the city that it's in. It's just such a laid back city. Everybody's so friendly and personable, and you don't always get that in other places in the U.S. So it's a nice place. It definitely is a nice place.
Very much
and,
so.
Let's see. And Jose Soriano says, if you hit a bonus and you get to select 10 or 15, 10, 5, 3 spins, how do you know which one to select? So what you're basically doing here is picking the volatility of the bonus round that's coming up. Now, before you hit those, before you make your selection, it has not decided what the end result is going to be yet. Because anytime any action is required by you, such as pressing the button or pressing the spin button on Wheel of Fortune or Top Dollar, pressing the try again, anytime there is an action required by you, that typically means that the random number generator has not stopped and decided your fate. The reason those bonus games let you select those is because you get to decide how risky you want to be. And a lot of those bonus rounds will actually tell you, there'll be a little bar graph at the bottom that says the The 15 with the low multiplier is less risky, but you get more spins, more retriggers potentially. And then you have the other end of the spectrum, which is maybe 3 spins, but up to 20 times multiplier. But it's very risky because you only get 3 spins, and you better hope it happens in those 3 spins. But it does very much, has not been decided until you select one of those, because they're going to play out differently. So you decide how risky you want to be during the bonus rounds.
Exactly. Very good question. Question from Nancy here. When a slot machine with progressives attached is in a casino for a long time, then they retire the machine, what happens to all the progressive money? This is actually a very good question, and this is something that not a lot of people know. What happens to that money is all of the money that was collected. So say the progressive never paid out and they decide to get rid of a bank of machines. That money actually it is required that money go back to the players in some way. So typically what casinos do is they will utilize that money, they set it aside, and they utilize that to either give away free play. They'll use that to purchase prizes to give away, or door prizes or something like that. So a lot of the times, if you go into a casino and, like, let's say, say they just got rid of a bank of progressive machines that had a jackpot that never hit. Well, you might come in, over the course of the next year, and it's like, hey, come in on Friday and get a free t-shirt or get a free hat or get a free. They're using that money to get those free items. So the money has to go back to the players in some way, because it's the players' money. It doesn't belong to the house. It belongs to the players. So they utilize that to, give out things like free play, give out things like shirts and hats and all that kind of stuff. Good question. But yes, that is what they do with it.
Very good question. And Brandon's Friends LLC says, what are some 5 and 9 machine that are low in volatility? So for the 5 line, if you want the bonus, you know what I'm going to say, 5 line top dollar, of course. But I recommend for both the 5 and 9, look for the double diamond or triple diamond. Those are probably my favorite low volatility multi-line games. Brantley, do you have any others that you would pick?
Honestly, the 1-9 line that I like the double triple diamond 9 line. That's a good one.
Yeah, I agree. I like that's a lot of fun too, and there's a lot of potential for hits. Not necessarily huge ones, but it'll keep you going. It'll keep you playing.
I've hit several jackpots on that 9 line triple double diamond.
That's right. Yeah, I've seen you. I witnessed it, guys.
Yeah, hit quite a few on that game. Absolutely. I'm missing a question here. Here we go. Question from Michelle. Are Washington State slot different than Las Vegas slots? Yes. So the slots in Washington State are actually not considered slot machines. So one thing, guys, that we always like to, we like to teach you here, and one of the basic rules of thumb is, defining what a slot machine is. Because a lot of people, what if I were to tell you that WinStar, the largest casino in Oklahoma, has no slot machines? Most people would not believe me. They would say, oh, no, I go to WinStar all the time. They have more slot machines than anything. But the legal answer is they don't have slot machines. Those are bingo terminals. Washington State, they're called VLTs. They're virtual lottery terminals. So they look like slot machines. They act like slot machines. They play like slot machines, but they are actually not slot machines. They do not work the same as slot machines do. They run off of a virtual lottery system. It's basically the same as if you have a roll of scratch tickets and you sit there and you keep pulling off a scratch ticket. That's exactly the same. And then all it is it looks and feels and acts like a slot machine, but it's actually not. So little legal fun there for you, but good question. Very good question.
All right, and Roscoe Remington has a good question here. If the machines have been at the casino for years and they tend to pay out more often, since the machine should be closer to the balance percentage? So here's the thing with balancing, guys. Like this, even though I say it takes the lifetime of the machine or 10 million spins to balance out, that does not mean that the game plays differently within those 10 million spins. It plays exactly the same way that you hit the button. What I'm trying to say when you talk about balancing is that based on the way the game is programmed, it will balance out the more spins that it takes. This is like the flipping the coin example that I tell you. Flipping a coin is a 50-50 chance of getting heads and tails. We kind of know that, right? But if you try to do it, say 20 times, you might end up with 15 heads and 5 tails. And you'll be like, well, wait a minute, isn't this supposed to be 50-50? It still is. It plays exactly the same. Every time you flip the coin, it's still a 50-50 chance, but there will be swings on either side. But if you do it enough, if you flip a coin enough times, it will eventually end up at 50%. And slot machines and the way they're programmed and their percentages exactly the same way. So the game does not change as you play it. It's playing exactly the same way. It's just going to take a very long time and a lot of spins before it will reach that true percentage of balancing. So just try to keep that in mind. So I hope that helps.
Absolutely. Very good question. Comment from Ernest here. I've hit 14 jackpots using some of your methods. Thank you this year. That is awesome. And that, again, it really speaks volumes for our channel. Because all of the advice that we give here is all backed by actual tech casino experience. And it works. There are thousands and thousands of you out there who have, come out and said, I've tried your methods, I've watched your videos, and I've hit my first jackpots. And that is absolutely incredible. And we love hearing that. We absolutely love hearing that. Also, guys, on our website, we do have a website. It's ropethejackpot.com. There's a lot of valuable information and resources on there. Of course, always free. But if you do hit a jackpot, you can share your testimonials there on the website, and we will gladly post it. So thank you very much for sharing that. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we had a gentleman that was at the Rose actually, and he came up to me. I don't know if Brantley you were around, but he hit the $2,700 on that triple red hot sevens.
Yep,
betting $2 a spin. And he said, I would have never played this machine if I wasn't watching your channel, because he was always getting sucked into all those video pinning machines. And he started to play those, and he's hit more jackpots in the last month on those machines, low betting, than he's ever hit on any of the penny machines. And we just love hearing that kind of stuff. Now, nothing's ever guaranteed. We always say that. We're not selling you, a dream. But what we're trying to do is tell you there are better games to play that increases your overall chances. And those are the ones that we try to recommend on this channel. And so we love hearing those stories because it kind of validates what we're trying to do here. So thank you so much for everybody always letting us know about those things, because we want to hear it.
Absolutely. Mark, I'm going to take one more question. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I beat you to it. Brent Baker says, I watched the setup video and it's cool to see. Howdy, Mark. Hey, Brent. Got the stand, got the UPS of the machine on its way. Yeah, Brent just bought a machine from me, and I checked this morning. It's getting pretty close, Brent. So hopefully, I think you'll probably get it this coming week. So stay close to the phone. They'll schedule that delivery for you. Hope you love it, man.
Absolutely. Have fun with it. Question from Michael. Does Oklahoma have Class 3 gaming? Yes, they do. So a lot of casinos. So WinStar has, obviously Class 2 bingo style machines. But there are some casinos in Oklahoma that do have Class 3 standalone based units. I cannot recall exactly which casinos it is, but yes, they do exist. There are some Class 3 casinos out in Oklahoma. WinStar is not one of them, but there are some casinos out there that have Class 3 slot machines. And I'll take one more question here from Deborah. When you play a multi-denom slot, does the odds change with the RNG? The only time the odds change on a multi-denomination slot is picture each denomination as a separate machine, because they're all programmed separately. So if it's a $1, $5, $10, $25, it's essentially going to be, it's pulling from 4 separate pay tables. It's got 4 separate accounting records there. It's got 4 different odds. So, you could be doing really well on one denomination, switch it to another denomination and not do well at all, or vice versa. So those are the only times your odds would change, is if you were to play the different denominations. I hope that helps to answer your question, but thank you, Deborah. I appreciate it.
And I'll do 2 really quick here.
Go ahead.
Red Stick says, are there any tips while playing in slot machines, slot tournaments, machine choice or button speed? So machine choice doesn't matter. Button speed definitely matters. So strong wrist is, you're absolutely right. Try to hit that button as fast as possible, because it's all about trying to get as many wins in as you can within the time limit. And then Jonathan Kent says, how do I get the enhanced sounds to work on my IGTS 2000? In the sound options menu, I selected enhanced when the machine goes quiet. So you probably do not have the right sound sim installed inside of your motherboard. This is pretty common, actually. If you want to email me at homeslotsfun@gmail.com, I will help you find the right one that you're supposed to have. Some machines you can do it, and some machines you just can't. So we'll work all that out if you email me. So happy to help you on that. All right, go ahead, Brantley.
All right, I'm going to take two really quick. One from Michael here. What airport should I fly into to see Shoshone Rose? So the closest airport is going to be Riverton, Wyoming. So Riverton, Wyoming is going to be the closest airport. You can also fly into Casper. Casper is relatively close. But Riverton, Wyoming, they do have flights into there. Mark, who did you fly on?
There's only one flight and one choice, and that's United. And you better be ready to get there really late and to leave very early because they park the plane there overnight. That's how they do it. So
yeah. So United on into Riverton. And then next question from Roy: are skill games a bad choice to play in an unregulated state? No, not really. Honestly, I've had some pretty good luck on skill-based gaming. So one of the interesting things about Wyoming is here we have historic horse racing machines, we have skill-based machines, and then we also have Class 3 casinos. I've done really well at some of the skill games. I mean, are they as good as slot machines? No, they're not. But I mean, I've made a couple $1,000 off of them, and that's my personal experience of having luck at it. So I wouldn't say it would be a bad choice to play. Just I would exercise restraint. I wouldn't bet a whole bunch of money into it because you're only going to get so much back. But as for being a bad choice, I wouldn't think it's a bad choice. And really quick, we do have a super chat coming in, a $5 super chat from Paul. Paul, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Great content, guys. Be back in Vegas on the 16th. Sahara takes great care of me. Well, best of luck to you when you go out to Vegas, and thank you so much for that super chat. We really do appreciate it. Super chats and super stickers really do go to help the channel tremendously. So we really thank you, Paul. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Paul. And Phil Brennan has a good question. Pinball feature seems to pay more than top dollar feature, but maybe top dollar feature triggers more often. That's absolutely correct. And that's the way these games work. It's basically it's volatility that we've been talking about, but there's always it always kind of ends up in the same spot, which is that payback percentage. It's just how it gets there is a lot different. I think, and I'm trying to go off of memory, the average for a pinball bonus is 1 in 62. And for a top dollar, on top dollar, it's in the 40s. It's like depending on the version of top dollar. Double top dollar is 1 in 41, and I think regular top dollar is 1 in 46. So the bonus does happen more frequently, but it pays less. So yeah, what you're noticing is volatility in those bonus games, and so it's up to you what you want to play. Good question.
Exactly. Question here from Veronica. Veronica asks, I get $1,000 free play every week, and most of the time I get zero return on that free play. Is there a tip on how to get a return on free play? First of all, $1,000 in free play a week is extremely generous. I want to know what casino you're going to, because I would want to get that. That is extremely generous for $1,000 a week on free play. Typically, my advice for free play, honestly, is since it's not your money that you're technically playing, it's the house's money. As we say on this channel, go full tilt. Find a really high denom machine that you wouldn't normally play, and play that. Play some. Find $100 machine. Find a $25 machine, and just give it a. It might only take a few clicks, but if you do hit something, that would be really good. So I would find a higher denom machine than what you're normally used to playing. And then again, I would stick with, if they have pinball or top dollar, I would stick with a game like that. Or go for a lower volatile game like a double diamond, or a triple stars, or a triple lucky sevens, a triple double dollars, something like that. I would really avoid playing those higher volatility games just for now, until you at least get something back. But definitely try a higher denom than what you're used to, because $1,000 a week in free play is extremely, extremely generous. So good question. Very good question. Thank you.
And Brett says, first time visiting Vegas in a month. I have a low slots budget, so where are the best casinos to find 25-cent and $1 denom double diamond pinball top dollar, so I can try your build-up method? So there are actually still quite a bit of places that have this. So I know New York, Bellagio, Park MGM all have $1 top dollar and pinball. New York doesn't have $1 pinball, but I know Park MGM does, and they both have low denomination double diamond machines as well. Typically, the less flashier the casino is, the more likely you're going to find those lower denomination machines. So that's why I kind of mentioned those. Stay away from Aria and those because they may not have those. Although Aria does have 25-cent 5-line top dollar. So if you really want to play top dollar, that's the one to go find and play. Hopefully it's still there. It's over by the entrance. But anyway, yeah, just be on the lookout. Don't go into the first casino and not find it and assume it's like that at every casino, because it's not the way it is. Every casino is laid out differently. They all have different denominations set up. But I guess, like I said, my general rule is the less flashier the casino is, the more likely you're going to find the lower denomination games to play. So good luck.
Yes, best of luck. Deep Haunts here has a comment. Hey, Brantley, I've hit several jackpots on pinball at the Gold Nugget Las Vegas. I now have a host. I would have never played pinball if it was not for your channel. You guys are great. Not so much on Top Dollar. Well, congratulations. That is awesome. I know I have had several, there's a lot of testimonial submissions for pinball wins, especially on the website. And I know that you are a part of that. So that is so awesome to see. And I'm so glad that everything's working for you and that you finally got a host, because hosts are very important. They are very, very important. Very, very good. Thank you very much for that. And I'll take one more, Mark, if you don't mind here. Question here. What do you think about Keno? Is it a good game to play? We are not fans of Keno on here. Honestly, it's not a very good game to play. You're essentially playing, Powerball every couple spins. It's not a very good game to play. Sometimes people win on it, but it's very rare. It's very infrequent. I know a lot of people out there, they do well on Keno, but it's kind of not really in the realm of slot machines. It's not something that we really like to focus on too much. And I know the game has really faded in the past several years. It's gone away from a lot of casinos. Overall, my opinion, and I don't know, Mark, your opinion on Keno. My opinion is it's not a very good game to play. It's extremely high in volatility. It's almost like playing Powerball. Mark, what would you think about Keno?
Yeah, it's pretty much like just playing the lottery, except not having to wait till Wednesday and Saturdays or whenever it is in your state.
Right.
It's just every single one. It's probably a good time killer. Maybe something if you were trying to get free drinks at a bar or something like that, it might be worth playing. But I've never really seen any gigantic hits on Keno, to be honest. I'm sure it exists out there, but people don't typically film it, number one, because it's just kind of, it's just kind of a boring thing to watch. But I have mixed feelings on it too. A lot of the video poker machines will have Keno in there also. But typically I just see people going right to the video poker because that is the better game to play if you play it at proper strategy. So, but if you love playing the lottery and you want to play it rapid fire mode, go for it. That's what Keno's there for.
Exactly. Good question.
And Scar22 has a question. Is there a law about number of almost wins a slot can generate? Like when you get 3 winning symbols just under the pay line, like near hits to entice the player to play more. There used to be, but there isn't anymore. They can do whatever they want. So they have a lot of flexibility with programming near hits. I'm not going to say a near miss because it's not a near miss. It's a near hit. Some games are just built that way. You get 2 bonus symbols all the time, and that third one just never seems to land. Quick Hits is infamous for that with the free games bonus. You hit the blink, blink, nothing. Blink, blink, nothing. Over and over and over again. And that is playing right into your psychology to get you to keep playing because you feel like you almost hit it. But yeah, they can certainly do that now. They have the flexibility to do whatever they want. So, yeah.
Exactly. Good question. Very good question. Let's see. Question from Carl. Are the giant slots that you find only in one casino a sucker bet? It depends on what they are. Honestly, the giant slot machines are the exact same as their smaller slot machine counterpart. Of course, you have some of those. I know they're not as popular now, but they used to be, especially in Vegas, the giant slot machine of spin and you could win $1 million. Those, would be kind of a sucker bet. But typically speaking, like I know that they have the bigger machines now for regular traditional games, and those play out the same. Actually, which I have yet to play it, but I really want to, at Bellagio in Las Vegas, they have a giant pinball S3000 machine. So I really want to play that. It's in their high limit room. I've seen it, I've walked by it, but I haven't played it. Those are programmed the exact same way as a traditional slot machine would be. And then speaking of Bellagio, I'll pull up one more. Pepino, I think I said that right. Bellagio took out their top dollar.
They did
really?
Not. Seriously,
I know they were. You know what? I know they've been making a lot of changes, so I'm not sure.
They had two double top dollars that were $1, if I remember, and that was 3-4 months ago when I was there at Bellagio, maybe longer than that. But that's a bummer. Maybe they're bringing in the new Diamond RS cabinet top dollar, and hopefully they keep it at single pay line and $1 denomination. I have a feeling they won't, but
that would be great though.
Yeah.
We do have one more current slot tech from Tribal Casino, North Carolina here. Love the channel. Welcome. We're so glad that you can make it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mark, I'll hand it off to you.
Okay, sounds good. EJ Laughs a Lot says, "Hey guys, I got your lucky 5-pack chips in the mail. Awesome. I saw a guy feeding $20 bills on a $250 max bet to play the lucky chance over and over until he won a big jackpot. Legal? Makes any sense to do? It's absolutely legal. And I have seen this many times. In fact, I remember Brian Christopher did a whole video on this where all he did was play for the lucky chance winner. Now, I don't know what the odds are of hitting the lucky chance feature, but maybe they're published. If you look in the game rules, maybe it will tell you what the odds are. I'm not sure it's something I would do, but hey, basically the way it works is, from my understanding, especially on the WMS games like your Aftershock and Shark Raving Mad and those types of games, the closer your leftover amount is to the max bet amount, increases your chance of getting the lucky feature. That's when it has the little wheel that goes around, and you'll notice that the area to land on is a lot bigger if you're closer to that dollar amount. But if the max bet spin is $250 and you only put $1 in there, I would imagine your chances of getting it are very small. It's possible, but I think it's probably very small. So yeah, it's perfectly legal. I don't know if I would personally do it. Brantley, what do you have any opinion?
I wouldn't personally do it, but I mean, yes, it is legal. You absolutely can. You can play for the lucky chance.
Yep.
Good question.
Yeah.
Question here from Crazy Bomb 89. Any point in changing the bingo cards on the slot machine that use the bingo system? No, not really. It's more of a feel good. You can change the card if you want to. Does it do anything? No, it does not. Actually, my first casino that I ever worked at in the slot department was a Class 2 facility, and we had the bingo cards and all of that. And people ask that a lot. They're like, oh, if I change the card, or we'd see players all the time tapping to change the card, it really doesn't do anything. It doesn't increase or decrease your chances at all. So I just let it go on whatever card it wants to pull. That's what I would do.
Guys, remember that Class 2 bingo style machines are not strategy games. They are
exactly.
You are just playing bingo with people around you. Just like if you went to play bingo, there is no strategy. You just have to be lucky. So there's nothing you can do changing the cards out or timing your bet or anything like that. There's no way you can manipulate the outcome of those. So the only exception is with the HHR machines. We did see where you could kind of pick certain race results, but based on what the representative told us, and we're working on something for that, but basically what he told us is that there's just so many possibilities to pick from that it's almost as random as it can get. So, don't play bingo machines thinking you can make any kind of manipulation. It is not a strategy slot machine by any means.
Exactly. Very good question, though.
Yeah, good question. Thank you. Brad Richel says, does taking a ticket out to cash out, then putting it back into anything? I've seen Stacey do this. A lot of people do this. I even do it here at the house. No, it doesn't make any difference, but sometimes it's I don't know. It's one of those things, gamblers are funny people, right? Like we come up with superstitions, even us who understand and know how these things work, we still have our superstitions. We still tap the glass, we still rub the glass, we still pull the handle sometimes. I mean, it's it's a funny thing. People just do that. They think that they're in control. I wish we were in control of slot machines, but unfortunately we're not. And this is just one of those things that people do. It doesn't increase your odds or make any difference. It's all about the moment that you press that button. So good question, though.
Exactly. Good question. Question from Nicholas. Thoughts on buying a bonus? So this is something relatively new. I know Stacy did a video on her channel about it. You have a pretty low chance. Typically, how they calculate the amount that you purchase the bonus for is it's higher than the average amount. So, the average amount of a bonus might come out to around $200, and they might charge you $350 to buy the bonus. So it's really not worth it. Could you make more than you put in? Yes, but most of the times you're going to be making less. So that's just kind of my personal thoughts on it is no, don't buy the bonus. And I'll take one more question from Tim O'Brien. As a visitor from Canada, what happens if I hit a big jackpot? So here in the United States, if you are not a U.S. citizen and you hit a jackpot, essentially what happens is the government mandates that the casino must withhold the taxes, and they actually will withhold a higher amount. So you'll get your jackpot, but all of the taxes, whether it's federal, state, depending on where you are playing, will automatically be taken out. You don't have the option to not withhold taxes. So that's the only difference with Canadian or international guests to casinos, is they will withhold the taxes automatically for you. And speaking of Canada, we do have a $5 super chat coming in from Wayne. Wayne, thank you so much. Are there any sites to find your favorite machines in Vegas? Right now, not that I know of. I mean, you can always actually, you can ask Dave from Gamble the Globe, who is one of our moderators. Dave is very good about that. He knows mostly all the locations of all the slot machines in Vegas.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
The dude gets around.
As to find, my personal favorites, most of them, I mean, Pinball Top Dollar, it's pretty common to find those almost anywhere. You can always check casinos' websites and stuff. I know Vegas is a little harder with the mega resorts, but a lot of the smaller casinos, you can always check up on their website, or ask around online too. But thank you very much for that super chat. We really do appreciate it.
All right, I'll take two real quick here. So
Go ahead.
Michael H says, moving to Houston today. All right, welcome to Texas. Best casino in Louisiana. I have a friend that lives down there, and he swears by La Berge in Lake Charles. He said it's very Vegas-like. They have a ton of top dollar and pinball machines in there. So if you want to play those, he says that's the place to go. So good luck. And the next question is from James Donovan. Says Casablanca in Mesquite has a carousel of Blazing Sevens that just go around. They are always open, $1 denomination. Very good game to play, guys. It's pretty boring, not many sounds, music. It's not flashy or anything like that. There's no bonus rounds, but listen, Blazing Sevens is a very good game to play for getting, especially the 300 credit amount, but you have a good chance of hitting that top line jackpot. Probably even more so. In fact, I would say more so than the double diamond jackpot, because those 1,000 credit wins happen fairly often on those machines.
A lot.
So, yeah.
Absolutely a lot they do. And a question from Brenda, how do you do a super chat? So at the bottom of your chat window, you'll see like a little, looks like a little dollar icon. You can click on that and set up for super chatting. And that helps out our channel tremendously. So thank you very much for that. We appreciate it. And then let's see, question from Queen Bee Slots. I have a pet peeve of slot players monopolizing multiple machines at the same time. Are there any real rules around that, or just etiquette? So actually, this is a very good question. A lot of casinos, there are rules for it. You can simply ask a floor employee, say, hey, I'm wanting to play this machine, but this one lady is sitting here and she's playing like 4 at a time. It depends on the casino. I know there's a lot of casinos that they'll post it on the machine where it says, only one player, at a time. Some casinos, unfortunately, allow it. It's bad etiquette all the way around. But as for rules at the casinos, it's really a casino rule. Some casinos do forbid it. Some casinos allow it. Always ask. Definitely always ask. And I know it's a pet peeve of mine too, for sure. That happened to us.
Not in Aria. Yeah.
Was it during it was at
No,
Aria.
It wasn't G2E. Yeah, it was the trip before that. There was a lady hogging all the pinballs in the high limit room for days. She was there.
Days
So,
that she hogged all of
yeah,
those
we
pinball
understand
machines.
what you're going through.
Very frustrating. Very frustrating on that. And real quick before we move on, we got a $9.99 super chat coming in from Glenn. Glenn, thank you so much. We really do appreciate that.
Thank you
Very much.
Very
so.
generous.
Thank you, guys. All right,
and Brian Betronis has a comment here. I'm disappointed in the 9-line top dollar in pinball. Lines pay at $1 single line rates, even though you're playing $10 a spin. I couldn't agree with you more. It's unfortunate that they kind of went this route, but we've talked to them, and I think they're considering bringing back the single line versions. Now, the new double top dollar in the Diamond RS cabinet, which just is now starting to hit casino floors, casinos actually do have an option to allow you to just select which of the lines to play, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they've set it up that way. So you could always ask them, if you do see that new double top dollar, ask them if they can give you the option of doing the single pay line. Unfortunately, with pinball, you have to play all of the 9 lines to get the biggest bang for your buck. So, yeah, like we said, and Brantley did a good video on this when he reviewed the pinball, is take whatever version of pinball that you would normally play. Let's say you typically play a $5 pinball and go down to $1 on the new machines, because in the end, if you get the bonus, it's pretty much going to balance out, because the bonuses are much larger because it's harder to get. That's volatility, right? But we always recommend doing that. Just don't play the $5 version at 10 lines. It's $50 a spin. If you were spending that much, you would normally be playing a $25 single line pinball. So just kind of lower your bet a little bit on the denomination and see if that does any good. But I totally recommend, or I totally agree with what you're saying. It's kind of unfortunate, but that's the way it is sometimes.
And very, very good advice as well. And before we move on, we got another super sticker coming in from Brenda, 1999 super sticker. Brenda, thank you so much. We really appreciate that. Absolutely, we do. And we're going to, let's see, I got to go over here. We'll take this one from Stacy. Stacy, are the payouts for Indian casinos different from other casinos? Love to watch your channel. You know what? A lot of people talk about, the odds of a regular casino versus an Indian casino. And I will tell you this. So first of all, each tribe is totally sovereign and independent. They have their own sets of rules, their own sets of regulations that they have to follow. But in a general speaking term, tribal casinos actually pay out more and better than regular casinos do. The tribal casinos, for example, here in Wyoming, down in Arizona, they have higher payouts than Las Vegas does. So they actually pay out better in many states. Now, there are some tribes out there that don't. I know there's some tribes in New Mexico that are really, really bad, but there are some tribes that don't. But in general terms of an overall nationwide average, tribal casinos do tend to pay out more than traditional casinos do. So yes, a lot of the things that you hear, guys, about, oh, don't gamble at the Indian casinos because they're bad, totally false. Absolutely false. Most of those tribal casinos are much, much better than regular casinos are. So thank you very much for that. And before we move on we got 2 more super stickers coming in. One from Jonathan. Jonathan, thank you so much. $5 super sticker. Thanks for the advice. I'll send an email about the sound sim. Awesome.
I'll look out for it. Thank you.
And we got another one, $9.99. Top tier pirate made it to a live woo. Well, welcome. We are happy to have you here.
Glad
Absolutely.
You made it.
And Queen Bee says, great conversation. Queen Bee Slots, I've actually watched your channel a few times. I really do enjoy it. She's got a great channel, guys. She really does. A lot of fun to watch.
Thanks for the comment, too.
And thank you very much.
And Wesley Griffin has a good question. If you start with $100 in a slot machine and build it up over $1,200 and cash out, does the casino make you pay taxes on it, even though it's not a hand paid? No. The rule is it's $1,200 or more on a single win. So that could be on a bonus round. It could be on a line hit. But you could build it up to over $3,000 or $4,000 and it won't matter. It's all about that single hit.
Exactly. And a comment from Alan, just going back to about tribal casinos. I feel tribal casinos here in Wisconsin pay quite well. I've hit over 30 taxable jackpots over the years. Yeah, guys, those tribal casinos, a lot of them pay very, very well. They really, really do. And also from Chase, got my first hand pay over the weekend. Thanks for the advice. That is awesome. Congratulations. We're so happy to hear that. And we do have another super sticker coming in from Jay Boris, $5 super sticker. Jay Boris, thank you so much. We really appreciate that. Following up here, hello, Brantley and Marc. I'm proud to be a member of your channel. I'd like to increase my monthly dues. How do I go about doing that? So our channel membership, I do like to keep it very cheap. I like to keep channel membership. I believe it's $3.99. I do like to keep it very cheap. There are other tiers of membership levels that are available as well, so you can always check those out. I'm not exactly sure how to do that on your end, but I know that the options are there. And of course, membership is always optional here on the channel because we always provide you guys with all of the free videos and free information as well. But membership is a great way to show your support to the channel since we do provide all of that for you guys for free. So thank you so much for that. And go ahead.
One. So
you're good, Marc. Go ahead.
Jorgen says, so changing denominations in video poker is the same. Getting good hands does not mean you will get them moving up in denominations. So here's the thing with video poker. The way that the cards are dealt and shuffled is exactly the same on any denomination, any payback percentage, or any setting that is on the machine. That part plays out the same. What could potentially change, though, is the payouts. So what you need to focus on a video poker machine is if you switch denominations, look at what the actual payback are for each hand, mostly around the full hand number. That's the one that you want to look at because that's typically where the payback percentage will be realized. You will be able to actually see what the rough payback percentage is. And shout out, I don't think Club Mike V is in here right now, but he's got a great channel about video poker where he's gone through this in detail about how to spot the best machines for video poker. Plus, we have also done an in-depth interview with the American Casino Guide guys who have done are just experts at video poker also. I learned a lot. The video is from earlier this year, but go and search for it in the library. Both of those sources are great for everything you ever wanted to know about video poker. So thanks for your question.
Very good question. Question from Mikey Likes It. Do you guys recommend having the casino take the taxes out at the time of hand pay? It is everybody's personal preference. For me, what I do is it depends on the amount. If it is a grossly large amount that I know, so I look at it for me, since I do gamble a lot and since I, have a lot of W2Gs, I try to keep track of my overall win loss because I want to be able to show a loss at the end of the year. And if it's going to put me positive or if it's going to put me way over that amount, and if it's going to come out to where I'm going to have to owe a lot of taxes, if it's a $60,000, $80,000, $100,000 win, something like that, I would recommend having them take the taxes out ahead of time. Absolutely. Good question. Very good question.
And Rob C says, I have a terrible attitude when I gamble. Boy, have we all been through this. Is being positive a better approach when I play? This is the hard thing with gambling, right? As most people know that have gambled, that gamble now or gambled in the past, you're going to have swings. And we've all been through this where you're having a blast. You're very positive because maybe you just got an awesome hand pay. You're finally up. And then you start losing all your money, and then you have a terrible attitude because you've lost your money. You've paid back the jackpot that you won and all that kind of stuff. This is kind of the natural ebb and flow of gambling. And so, yeah, you want to always try to be as positive as you can because it makes for a better experience because you should remember that, again, that you are there for entertainment only. Winning is just a nice thing to have when you do play a slot machine or you play a table game or anything like that. We want you to focus on having a good time. And if you're not having a good time and you're miserable, you should probably find another hobby because right. When you're miserable, you start making reckless decisions. You're trying to, get that jackpot maybe to chase and things like that. So yeah, positive attitude's always better. Don't lose your money. Don't go past your budget. All those types of things I think will help you to have a better attitude when you go to gamble. So a good question. Good comment.
Exactly. Very good. Question from EJ Laughs a lot. I get a win-loss statement at the end of each year. Does it reflect non-jackpot wins? Does it reflect every win ever since using my player's card? So what the win-loss statement will show is it'll show your coin in, your total coin in, your total coin out, which the total coin in is obviously the money that you're betting The total coin out is all the money that you're winning back. So that's everything. And then it'll have a separate category for taxable jackpots, and it'll show that. And that's how the win-loss statement is broken down. And I'm going to take one more here from Red Stick. What dollar amount does the casino require a full tech review of the machine before paying out a large win? So it depends on the casino. Every casino is different. Some casinos, it's 5,000. Some casinos, it's 10,000. Some casinos like Aria and Cosmo, it could be a lot higher than that. Now, the only other factor you'd have to factor in is if, like, let's say, if it is a game like Wheel of Fortune or a wide area progressive, there's typically needs to be a tech come in from the manufacturer. This also can cause a delay in you getting paid out that jackpot. If that's really far out, if the tech can't make it for a while, obviously it's going to take some time. And that's really only applies to the wide area progressives. But every casino is different. Most casinos, it's typically around 10 to 20,000. Some casinos, it's lower. Some casinos, it's higher. So good question.
Let's see. I had one and I unfortunately lost it. So if you have another one, go for it, Brantley.
Let me see here. Let's see. Question from Dominic. Hey, Brantley and Marc, thanks for all your tips. Is easy money the same as top dollar? Also, are every slots good to play? It depends on what every slot you're wanting to play. Again, every game is designed differently. Easy money, that's more of a Marc question. Marc, what are your thoughts on easy money? Because I know you've talked about it a couple of times.
I know.
Think about?
I'm a huge. Most people should know by now. I'm a huge top dollar fan. And easy money was actually made by the same people with Barcrest, but they partnered with WMS at the time when they made it. And it's not the same. The music is kind of cringy. the announcement of dollar amounts, it feels off to me. It plays pretty much the same as top dollar. You're more likely to find 5-line versions of easy money than single line versions, although those do exist. They're just rare. If I were to pick between the two, absolutely I would play top dollar, but if that's the best they have, I'd probably sit down and play it, but I don't typically like that one. Just a personal thing. You need to have fun when you're playing a machine. That's part of the deal.
I like good old top dollar as compared to anything else.
That's
except
right.
For pinball, of course.
Of course.
Except for pinball.
I'll take another one here, Kurt. So John Cole says, is it better to play max bet on $1 to $5 denominations or okay to play one credit? So we talk about max betting a lot. The short answer is it depends. What you really need to look at is the pay table information, the game rules, and understand what that max bet could be potentially giving you as a bonus over not playing max bet. A good example is pinball. If you play the 3 credit max bet, you get 5 shots in the top. If you play 2 credits, you only get 2. So you're missing out on 3 extra shots, which is huge for pinball. That's going to make a big difference. So it's best to play max bet on that game. The other thing to look at is maybe on the simpler games. Let's say you're triple diamond or triple red hot sevens or something. Look at what the top line jackpot is and if it actually gives you a bonus over the single line version. I remember the triple red hot at the Rose, a single credit win with the top 3, 3x, 3x, 3x is 1,600 credits when you're betting 1 credit. But if you bet 2, you get 4,000. So it's higher than just double the amount. So there's a benefit to playing max bet. So the answer is you really got to look at the game rules and figure out if it's worth it or not. That's the most important thing. The difference between a payback percentage on a $1 to $5 machine is probably not going to be that big, and certainly not something you would notice by just sitting down and playing for 30 minutes, for example. I would look more at what the benefit is of doing that max bet credit and then make your own decision. So I hope that helps.
Exactly. Well said. Let's see. I have a question here. Are payback percentages counted in a lifetime, year time, or lifetime of the machine? And what do you think of D-Lucky experience? So the payback percentages are for the lifetime of the machine. So the entire time that the machine is running, the entire time that the machine is there. The casinos never need to adjust their payback percentage or odds or anything like that because it's projected for the long term of the machine. The casino is not looking at what's happening this weekend, what's happening this week, what's happening tomorrow. The casino's not looking at that. When they buy that machine, when they lease that machine, if they sign a 10-year lease agreement for that machine and they put it on the floor, their only focus is how much am I going to make in 10 years? They don't care what happens in between that point. They're focused on the end point. So a lot of times, when you hear these discussions about people saying, "Oh, the casinos are going to change the odds on the weekends or the days or the months or the holidays," or none of that is true at all. Even if they did, let's just say that they actually did. Okay, like let's say the casinos decided, you know what, we're going to change it for this one holiday. They would not notice any difference at all. It would take them more time. It would take them more effort. It would take them more legal loopholes. It would take gaming coming out there. It would take so much effort, and they would see no result. When they buy that machine, when they lease that machine, when they sign the contract for that machine, their goal is, how much money do I want to make in 10 years of that machine sitting here, or however long the contract is for that game, or, okay, in 20 years, I'll make this, in 5 years, I'll make this. That's what they're focused on. They're not concerned about days of the week or times or anything like that. They don't care. As for D Lucky, we don't talk about other channels here on our channel. We stay focused on the work that we do. We back up everything with our experience, with interviews with experts. That we just stay focused on the facts and bringing you guys the facts. I can't comment on anybody else's business practices. But the thing is again, guys, there's no way to trick a machine. Nobody knows anything that you don't know. And, always with any YouTube channel, does not matter with any YouTube channel. Just be mindful. They can only post they only post what they want people to see. So just be mindful of that. And that's all we can really say about that. Other than that, we don't comment on other channels' operations or anything like that. But good question on the payback percentage. You got one, Mark?
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to unmute here. Yeah. So we got this question a lot. Simon, what guys do you think about Konami games? And I saw your question earlier about, are they volatile or not? It really depends on the game. Again, it's not about the manufacturer themselves. It's about the game that they produce. Every manufacturer, slot manufacturer, has a library of games that are on both sides of the volatility rating. So some might specialize in higher volatile, and Konami is probably one of those. But the thing is that it really depends on the game. And I don't know a whole lot about Konami games. Brantley, I don't know if you have any comment on those types of games in general. But I haven't really played any of them.
Yeah, I really don't have much advice on those Konami games. Let's see. Let's see. Question here. Any suggestions for good online slot games, guys? If you're going to play slot machines online, stick with a name brand that a name brand that you trust. MGM, Caesars, FanDuel, stuff like that. Stick with a known name brand that is regulated. Don't be sending your credit card to random companies overseas. If you want good online slot games, stick with the ones that are regulated. MGM and Caesars, those are the biggest two, and that's what I would recommend. And then I'll take one more here from Cade. Why do you say to play higher denom games if the payback percentage isn't a big deal? So where'd it go? Here it is.
Sorry, that was my.
You good, Mark?
You're good. I'm just click happy, guys. Sorry.
So the thing is obviously as the denoms increase, so does the payback percentage. Now that payback percentage really doesn't matter to you in the short term. It's more of a long-term projection. But if you are going to gamble and if you are going to play, you want to try to have the best odds possible. Doesn't guarantee you a win, but you want to try to have better odds. If you have a better chance of doing something, why would you not take it? So that's kind of what we're getting at there with that. But as in, what we got with the payback percentages in the short term, in the time that you're playing it, you're not going to really notice or realize. But on the off chance that you hit something big, you want to make sure that you've got the better odds to hit something big. So anytime that you have a choice of, increasing your chances at all for anything when it comes to gambling, should probably take it, especially.
Right.
But yeah, the higher denoms are always going to be the better ones to play, and they're going to offer you a much quicker win.
Yeah, and just to back up what Brantley's saying, if all things were equal, meaning that you have the bankroll to support playing $100 machines or $25 machines, you should absolutely go and play those, because yes, over the lifetime of you playing that machine, your odds are definitely going to be better. So if all things were equal, definitely pick the ones with the higher percentage. But what we don't want you to think is that you are going to be guaranteed some kind of greater chance of winning in the short term by playing those higher denomination machines. And we don't want you to play those if you're stretching your bankroll. Let's say you normally play $1 or $5 machines, and then you hear somebody tell you you have to play 25 and 100 because your chances of winning there are just astronomically better. That's not true. We don't want you to fall into that trap. So your budget is the most important thing. If you can support those higher denomination, you definitely should be playing those and not the dollars, for example. So that's kind of what I wanted to add to that, is that, yeah, it's true. You should always play something. I mean, look, if something is 90% and something's 95, you would always want to go to the 95, but just don't think that there's some kind of guarantee, because that's over the long-term play of that machine. So
Exactly.
Good question. Very good question.
Well, and also between denominations, a lot of times there can be a drastic difference. If you look at a penny machine, which could be set at 85, and you look at a $25 machine, which could be set at 98, obviously that's a huge difference. So you're going to want to play the higher one, of course. But very good question.
Absolutely. And Neo 1442 says Vegas trip starts tomorrow. Well, it's always exciting. The night before Vegas is always exciting, right? Very first machine to hit top dollar in the high limit, and then Cherry Jubilee. All right. Well, I'd probably go in the reverse of that. But hey, if you want to go in there and try your luck at top dollar first, go for it. I'm assuming you're going to be at MGM Grand because you mentioned Cherry Jubilee. That's the only place that one is. But good luck. Hope you do well.
Absolutely. Comment here from Joker Smoker. Hitting the thumbs up is a great way of showing support. It helps get this out to more people on YouTube. Yes, guys, thank you so much. Definitely want to make sure to like this video and also subscribe to the channel if you have not yet. If you're watching and you haven't yet subscribed, definitely want to subscribe to the channel. If you do want to show more support for the channel, hey, we have swag. We have really fun swag. We've got poker chips. We've got wristbands. We've got all kinds of fun stuff. And it's on sale right now for the holiday season. All November long, we're running sales on our store on all of our fun swag. So check it out at our website at ropethejackpot.com. And there's also a lot of other great things on that website as well to help you guys out. And if you are new to the channel, be sure to check out our other videos. There are so many videos in our library that we cover a lot of common myths and tips and budgeting and everything. So definitely check out our library because there is just so much in there. And thank you very much for that comment. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much. And another comment here from IXG Runtle XL. Oh, I got that right. Just want to say that your video in partnership with the Shoshone Rose Casino is awesome. It was great to see behind the scenes of installing a new slot machine. So here's the thing. Number one, we really appreciate that. But look,
Absolutely.
we take a lot of pride on this channel of not just telling you what we feel or what we've heard, from somebody passing by or anything like that. Everything that we do, every video that we do is checked and verified by somebody working actively in the industry today. We do this because we want to make sure that we are providing you with the right and correct information when you go in to start gambling. Nothing is based off of conjecture or funny feelings we have, or, we think you should play these machines because we've had good luck on them and that's the only reason why. It has nothing to do with all that. We have our opinions, sure, but it's very important that we get people on camera that want to talk to the people in the industry. Shoshone Rose has been very welcoming in that because they have helped us to understand more than we knew initially. And that translates to great content for you guys. That's why we do it. It's very important to us, both of us, that we provide you with the best and most accurate, up-to-date information possible on casino gambling, slot machines, all that kind of stuff. And that's why we do what we do. So very much appreciate the comment. We're never going to stop with that. That's the number one foundation of this channel. And Brantley, thank you so much for allowing me to be part of it, of course. And that's what we're trying to do. So thank you very much. Good comment.
And thank you guys. We really do appreciate it. And Casino Scoop says, "You too, Rock. Thank you for the valuable info." Guys, great part about this channel is not only do we provide you with accurate info, current info, and we back it and we verify it. And we show exactly where we're getting the information from, and we bring on experts and we talk about all of this. But not only that, but the tips and advice that we give you, they work. And if you go through, if you read our go through and read through the comments on our videos, there's hundreds, there's thousands, and it's so awesome to see so many people being helped by this information, and it's all free, which is fantastic. And we are going to continue to do that here on this channel. And we have some great things planned for you guys in store. A lot more is to come. A lot of more deeper info, a lot more experts, tons of valuable information. So thank you guys very much. We really do appreciate it, each and every one of you. And each and every one of you really does play a huge part in this channel. So thank you guys. And really quick, Lorena, don't forget to share as well. Yes, guys, sharing really does help. Sharing is caring. It really is. If you find a video that you like, if it's helped you out, if you want a jackpot on it, share it. Share it out there. Let everybody know. We really appreciate that.
And Tiki God 61, I've seen your question a couple times. Is there any pinball or top dollar in any Arizona casinos? Well, Brantley, you were there recently, but before I turn it over to you, guys, you can call a casino. Like, just call them ahead of time and say, look, I'm looking for top dollar pinball. Do you have it? No. Call the next casino and find it before you drive there or fly there or anything like that. They will tell you. They'll get you in touch with a slot manager or slot director or somebody that can tell you. And if they get enough calls, maybe they'll get it in, so there's that too. Absolutely. But Brantley, you were in an Arizona casino recently. Did you see any of those?
I actually did not see any. I have not seen pinball or top dollar. It could be there. It might be in another casino that I have not been into, but it could be. I have not seen any out there. Not recently. Maybe with the new Diamond RS cabinets coming out, they'll hopefully get some. Who knows? Let's see. Question here. When you worked for the casinos, what was the highest payback percentage you've seen a slot machine set at? My current casino is set at the highest is 95. The highest that I have ever seen is over 98%. It was like 98.5. That's the highest I've ever seen. So that's that's pretty high. That's pretty high, guys.
All right. And Karen R has a question. So if people stop playing a machine because it's not paying and thus not making the casino any money, will it be removed? Most likely. It is all about, so with casinos, a lot of times they are going off of what the manufacturers tell them, what has been good in other casinos, what their metrics and analysis say is a good machine to put in there. More and more these days, casinos are now listening to you guys. Before they only listen to the manufacturers, but with a lot of YouTube activity and a lot of people getting very involved in the casino industry, they want to hear about these things. So if a machine is not being played because maybe it's just way too volatile, like it's too difficult to get the bonus and nobody plays it because they figured that out, they will probably remove that machine and put something else in there. It's not because it's not paying out well or the payback percentage isn't set right or anything like that. It's all about, entertainment. Butts in the chair, like Brantley always says, they need to get the butts in the chair and they need people to play these games. And some are just not that exciting. I got to be honest. There are some that there's just no excitement at all. There's maybe only one bonus and it's really hard to get. So people lose interest. And so they will replace that machine with something that will get more play. It's a very constant thing with casinos. They will constantly keep doing this. And that's how look, when the Lightning Link games first came out, nobody knew that was going to be a success. Nobody knew the spin and hold feature would be something that people like. But look at it now. You cannot go to any casino and find some game in there that has the spin and hold feature, because it's very popular right now, and slot manufacturers know that, so they're continuously evolving to create games that have the spin and hold feature in it. And that's going to be the same until people stop playing those machines and lose interest, and then they will move on to trying to find the next big hit. So it's a very constant thing. It's going to keep evolving. Good question.
Exactly. Good question. Oh, a question here from Carmela. The knowledge they provided is helping with my addiction. I'm spending wiser and lesser. I really don't feel the need to be there as much. The desire is leaving with me. That is awesome. And guys, one thing too is we do take addiction very seriously, or any kind of, overly spending. We always try to stress, budgeting, making sure that your money is safe. I know Mark has given a lot of excellent tips about, hey, if you're going to Vegas, leave your cards at home, bring a lockbox with you, do stuff like that. And as always, we always do provide resources here on this channel and on our website at ropethejackpot.com. If you guys ever feel that you need somebody to talk to about needing any kind of help or anything like that, we always offer those resources. At the bottom of every single video we post, in the description, we include the nationwide hotline for problem gambling, and we also offer problem gambling resources on our website at ropethejackpot.com. So we are very, very happy to be able to help, and we always love to teach responsibility and budgeting and all of that here on this channel as well. And it plays a very big part in gambling. It really does. So thank you very much for that comment. We really appreciate it.
We want you guys to have fun. We entertainment
Exactly.
is the number one reason people go to gamble. If you are going to gamble because you're trying to chase a loss or you need to pay your bills next month, you're not having fun. And we don't want to see you get hurt. And so, like Brantley said, everything that we do on this channel, we back it up with that in mind. We don't want you guys to get reckless and go crazy. We don't want you to get caught up in payback percentages and all this kind of stuff if you can't afford to play at that level. So don't do it, So we just want you guys to have fun. And thanks so much for that comment, because it's important to hear that side of it too. Nobody wants to watch a video about a doomsday scenario saying, oh, this is what happens when you're down in the dumps. But it's important because gambling is a serious addiction. People have problems. And it's very important to hear that side of it sometimes. It's all fun and games until you get hurt, You've probably heard that saying before. So thank you so much, Carmela. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
And Larry Crow Jr. says, back in the day, I always watched people playing $1 sizzling sevens, playing one credit. You could only win $60, the highest on triple bars. You cannot even win the sevens play. Oh my gosh, I've seen this too. Guys, look at the game rules. Know what you're doing. If you're not going to play max bet, you need to look at the game rules and understand what you're missing out on, like we talked about before. So yeah, I've seen this too. I see this on Top Dollar a lot too, where people will play one credit on Top Dollar and actually go up to them. It's like, you realize you're not going to get the bonus if that Top Dollar symbol lands on that last reel, because you're only betting one credit. People just don't look at the game rules. So make sure you do and understand what you're doing before you start spending your money. Really important.
Exactly. Question here from Richard. So how does the machine know what its lifespan is? So there is no timeline. There is no timeline. That's like saying, when the machine comes on the floor, they program it once, and then its lifespan is until whenever the casino decides to get rid of the machine. That's essentially its lifespan. So there's not any kind of, a timeline. It doesn't have a timeline on it for whenever the machine is, going to end its lifespan. It's just whenever the casino decides that they want to get rid of it or replace it.
Yeah.
It's
like what we just talked about. When people stop playing it, that's when it will disappear. I mean, it's just that's how, if people aren't playing it, they're not making any money, and you're not losing any money.
Exactly.
So, it's time for it to go. Put something else in.
Exactly. And question from D1 Keys. I wish par sheets were publicly available. I wish casinos made all of their games information fully available. Yeah, it would be cool. It would be great if those par sheets were available to everybody. Unfortunately, there's a lot of information on, especially the newer par sheets and stuff that are, proprietary, that the manufacturers don't want other manufacturers to get a hold of or see. And that's the biggest reason.
Brantley nailed it. It has, as an end user or person playing a slot machine, you can look at a par sheet and it will give you zero advantage. It will not change how you play that game. It's interesting to know, but it's not anything that will help you. But Brantley's right. It's all about manufacturers seeing what other manufacturers are doing and how the games play out. And it's proprietary information, like Brantley said. So, yeah, I wish we could see it too, but it wouldn't give you anything that would change your mind about playing the game or not, unfortunately. So just keep that in mind.
Exactly. All right, go ahead, Mark.
Let's see. If you have one, go for it, Brantley.
I'll just take this one here from Carl. When you win a large amount, can you take the payout partially in cash and check? Yes, you can. Most casinos will allow you to do that. You just have to ask before they start processing all of the paperwork. Always ask. Never hurts to ask. But yes, absolutely you can. And real quick from David, my mother loves you guys. Respect brothers. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate
Hello
that.
to your mother.
Hello to your mother. We appreciate that. Absolutely.
Thanks for watching.
Yes, thank you, guys.
And Marvin Hacking says, will video poker ever be part of slot play? Meaning I think about. I think I know what you're saying. That actually already exists. They do have video poker that have slot machine elements attached to it, like a wheel or some kind of bonus play. I found an old pinball video poker where it's like half video poker and half pinball. Those things do exist where they're kind of a, video poker plays out a certain way, but if you get a certain hand, like a full house or something, then it switches over to a slot machine style game with either the wheel or whatever. So that's already happening. I have seen that out there. Good question.
Very good question. Let's see here. Question: would love to attend a Cowboy Slots event in Vegas. Any interest in making that happen? Yes, we are working on some things. The last event that we had for G2E, the meet and greet was crazy. We had tons of you guys coming out, which was phenomenal and fantastic. So thank you all to that came out to that event. And we will try to plan something in the future, maybe around the January timeframe. January is my birthday, so I'll probably be out in Vegas around that time. So we will look at making something happen then as time gets closer.
Yep, stay tuned. Marvin Hackling says, are real slots going to last? I think they are. And IGT, huge shout out to IGT for this because
they just came out with brand new real slots, guys. Right. that are brand new real slots.
They're not giving up, and they told us they're not giving up.
Are the old real slots disappearing, like the very, very old ones? Yes, but are real slots in general disappearing? Absolutely not. Anybody, like if you were at G2E, you would be able to see so many real slots coming out, brand new real slots coming out. And a lot of those are still classic games. I know IGT, I kind of interrupt Mark there for a minute, but no,
you're fine.
IGT is doing a fantastic job. They are keeping all those classic games. Triple Stars, Pinball, Double Diamond, Top Dollar, all of that, all of the old real games, they're coming back in brand new cabinets, and they're still real games. So it's awesome. Sorry, I interrupted you there.
No, you're good. Hey,
go ahead.
It's totally fine. And KCVGCX says, played the 5-line Top Dollar at Aria and did very well. Thanks for the suggestion. You're welcome. Play it while you can find it because it's not being remade and they're starting to take them out. So if you can find that one, definitely sit down and play it. I highly recommend it, as always. So good one. Glad you did well.
Absolutely. Let's see here. Question from Glenn, can I buy a question? Can you talk about you don't have to buy anything, guys. It's all free here. You don't have to buy a question. Can you talk about the algorithms? Does each denomination and each bet inside that denomination have its own algorithm, or does the machine have one for all? So each denomination is going to pull from a separate pay table, and it's going to have different, obviously it's a different percentage. It's a different pay table. The pay table is designed differently. It's going to work, each denomination is going to work independently on that. The algorithm itself on how it pulls is pretty basic and straightforward. It's all going to pull the same way. It's just going to pull from different tables within the programming of the machine. Mark, do you want to add anything to that?
No, that's definitely exactly the way it works. Random number generator is the same regardless of machine, payback percentage, and all that. That's just a random number that's going. Where the pay table is what controls the payback percentage and what actually ends up spinning on the machine. Definitely go watch the video that we posted, I think, last week on how slot machines work. It might help to explain that a little bit better. I tried to break it down in a visual way so you can understand. But yeah, it's Brantley's correct. I mean, it's the algorithm is programmed the same, but it picks from different things based on the payback percentage. So good question. Very good question.
Very good question. Thank you, Glenn.
Yeah, thank you. And David says, I remember the coins pay out and the buckets when I was small. Yeah, I miss those days.
It was a good time.
It was a good time. Not for a slot tech. I know at the Rose, the funny story, the Rose was trying to put in some, and if they're watching, they're probably going to laugh at this, but they were wanting to put it back in some coin machines. And one of the slot techs, shout out to DJs, like, no, don't do it. Because from a slot tech perspective, it's a nightmare. Coin jams, hopper being filled. It was just a different time. It's a lot easier to maintain machines nowadays than it was back then. But the nostalgia is something else. And if you guys remember back then, there's only so fast you could play a slot machine because you had to put the coins in, right? And so it definitely slowed down play. Where now people are doing these crazy fast stops and all kinds of stuff. So I miss those days. Maybe someday there'll be a casino that will open and it'll just have those in there and nothing else. I would go to that one.
You never know. You never know. Question here: do mobile slot games work the same as real slot games? No, they do not. Absolutely not. The games that you play on your phone or on your computer or tablet or anything like that, those are not slot machines. They look and feel and act, but they are not slot machines. They don't have the same. They don't have the same programming and meat and potatoes that go into them. So, unfortunately, not. Even though it looks like a slot machine, acts like a slot machine, it is not a slot machine.
And I have to take this one. Dion says, is there any difference between Dragon Link and Dragon Cash? Is either one better? Guys, in the comments right now, tell Dion what I'm about to say.
There we go.
Don't feed the dragon. That's right. There you go, Dion. Sorry, that's going to be the answer.
Don't feed those dragons.
That's right.
Question from Josh. Can you comment on the volatility of Pharaoh's Fortune or Da Vinci Diamonds? Thanks. Pharaoh's Fortune, I'm not too familiar with. Da Vinci Diamonds is a pretty high volatile game. That one's pretty high in volatility. Again, you're starting to get into those games of, all these crazy lines and crazy features and crazy symbols. And pretty much anytime that you go to sit down and play a slot machine, guys, always look at those game rules. Again, easy way to tell if it's pages and pages and pages long and it says, oh, if you hit this and do this and do this and do this, it's probably a high volatile game. So I know for a fact Da Vinci Diamonds is a pretty high volatile game. Pharaoh's Fortune, I'm not too familiar with that. Mark, what about you?
Yeah, I am familiar with that one. That one's probably middle of the road. That one's tricky because you actually do, if you've ever played the bonus round on Pharaoh's Fortune, you actually get to pick what free spins and multipliers that you'll potentially get, and it's not predetermined. So if you're a good picker, Pharaoh's Fortune is low in volatility, but if you're a bad picker, it's very high in volatility. Those bonus rounds can either be really good or horrible based on how you pick. So that's a tricky one.
I'm gonna take one more, Mark, and you'll be able to tag in on this one. From Steven. Why do you guys rag on the link games so much compared to most of the games in the casino? They're only medium volatility. So the reason why, guys, is again, so when we look at slot machines, when Mark and myself, when we look at slot machines, we are seeing the whole picture. We are seeing all of the sides that you guys don't get to see. We are looking at the accounting record. We are looking at the meat and the potatoes and the guts of the machine and the long-term projections. And guys, those link games are awful. They are awful. Yes, you can win some good amounts on it. Yes, I've seen the grand go on it. But I've also seen people sit there and they've dumped thousands and thousands and thousands into the machine when you could have taken a tiny fraction of that and played it in another machine that is a lot better. So there's a lot of aspects of slots and the casino that you guys don't get to see. And that's what we try to teach you here. Those link games are extremely deceptive. Yes, they can be fun. I'm not saying they're not fun, but they are really high in volatility, guys. They really are. It can take a lot. It can suck your bankroll down really, really fast. We don't want to see that happen to you. Now, the only time I would say go for it is if you either have the budget to withstand the large swings of it, or if you've already won on a different game and you're wanting to make a riskier bet and go for it. Or the last thing is if you're just solely playing for entertainment only and you're just going to play like minimum amounts just for the fun aspects of the game. But other than that, just be mindful, because there's a lot of aspects of these machines that you guys, the player, don't get to see. So when we see the back end of it and we see what people are actually putting into the machine, what the machine's actually making versus what it's paying out, it's insane. So that's why we say, don't feed the dragons. And Mark, I don't know if you want to add on to that.
I really don't have to say much more to that. The Lightning Link games are just, they're so tough. If you do play them, like Brantley said, have the bankroll to withstand it, or convince yourself that you're only going to do, say, 10 spins on it. And if you don't get the bonus, you leave. We see people, visually see people chase bonuses on those. And to the point of it getting super extreme where they're even fast stopping the reels at like microseconds to try to hurry up and get the bonus. That's not healthy play, guys. It's not. It's not good. And you have to be careful with that one too, because a lot of the YouTube videos that show big wins on Dragon Link and Dragon Cash do not show you the losing spins. They just show you the insane, crazy bonus. Look at all these $5,000 balls that landed down here. I've got, too many jackpots on. That's all you see, but you don't see what it took to get there. And they may be buying that bonus. And what I mean by that is that they have paid for it and then some to get that bonus that looks amazing. That's what a high volatile game looks like, and that's what those games are. So that's why we tell you that. So good, Brantley, you nailed it, guys. We just don't want to see you get hurt.
Yeah,
those games
exactly.
are just
we care about you guys. We care about you guys. We really do.
And just to add to that too, guys, we're not telling you, straight up like, hey, if Dragon Link or Lightning Link is your favorite game and you want to play it, of course, we're not telling you, never, ever, never play it at all, despite not feeding the dragons. But, only do it, guys, if you have the bankroll to withstand those swings, or if you know what you're getting into. That's the biggest thing, is just know what you're getting into. As long as you know, and as long as you're aware that there's a chance that you could lose your ass on that game really hard, hey, if you want to play it, go right ahead and play it. But just know what you're getting into, guys.
That's
really
right.
That's the most important part. Know what you're getting into.
And Sean Lance has a good question. Would it be wise to sit on a machine if you watch someone feed it with money and didn't hit any major wins? No, that's not. Listen, every single time you hit that button, it is a separate, independent event. It does not know what has happened in the past. It doesn't know what's going to happen in the future. So just because you see a ton of people putting money into a machine does not necessarily mean that it's due or it needs to start paying back because someone put all that money in there. That's not how it works. And so you should only sit down and play it because you want to play that game, not because you just watch somebody lose their butt on it. That's not how the machines play out. So just be careful with that.
Exactly. And we are at about our 1 hour and 30-minute mark. So we're going to take one more question, and then we are going to wrap up our live stream. We have had so many of you join into the live stream. And just as a reminder, we have 3 live streams a week. We have this show, the Sunday afternoon show. Tomorrow for our channel members, Member Monday. It's a special live stream just for you guys. And then Wednesday night, late night show if the weekends aren't good for you. So we always do have those live streams available. So if we did happen to miss your question, feel free to please do come back. Absolutely. So we're only going to take a couple more questions here, and then we will definitely round out. I'm going to start here by taking one from Roy. Why did penny machines take over the casino floor? Really, there's a lot of reasons why. First off, more people like to play the penny machines because it's a psychology thing. They see the word penny and they automatically assume that it's going to be cheaper to play. But the casino actually makes more money off of it because today a lot of those penny machines have really high bet amounts. They've got bet amounts of $3, $5, sometimes more, $10 plus. So the casino's making more money off of it. And people are still drawn to it because they say, oh, I just play the penny machines, not knowing, again, it's a bad bet. Most of them, it's a bad bet. So that's why most of them are taking over the floor. I hope that helps to answer your question there.
And let's see, we got Winnipeg, whatever says, do my chances or luck increase if I wear a cowboy hat? Yes.
Yes. No. No. I don't know, Mark. We had good luck.
Yeah, we did when I had the hat on. So maybe there is something to it. I don't know. Just joking.
We could start. That could be the next rumor to start.
That's right. That's right. And Brent Baker says, "Don't feed the dragons ever." Thank you. That should be the summary of this live stream today. Don't feed the dragons.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Well, I guess we'll start wrapping up here. Gosh, thank you so much. We had a lot of you come today. Really appreciate it.
We're over 400 right now. We've got 402 of you in here right now. And as we close out, as a reminder, guys, holiday season, we're discounting all of our swag through the month of November. It's a great way to help support the channel. Really fun. Lots of cool poker chips on there. We've got these cool camo wristbands. There's even bungee cords for your casino cards in both black and blue. Those are available on the website, and those really do go to help out the channel. So be sure to check out our website, not just for products, but for everything else. There's a casino guide on there for finding out what class of casino your casino is. There's commonly asked questions on there. There's testimonials. There is so much on that website that's available to you guys, all 100% free. All of that information. So check it out, ropethejackpot.com. Guys, we really do appreciate you. Wow, this has been a great live stream. Extremely busy here today. And as a reminder, always come back. We do lots of live streams, 3 a week. Anyway, guys, as always, thank you so much for tuning in. Best of luck to you, and we'll see you again next episode.
See you later, guys.